Good evening, and welcome to the Crown Hill Journey. My name is Christina Apt, and I am your hostess for this journey, and I'm also the author of the book Crown Hill. Tonight we go on to chapter 6 in the third book, which is Meg. And in that third book, what we found out last night was that Meg, I'm slightly concerned that no one's joining. There we go. Okay, good. Now I know that I'm live. Okay. Thank you, whoever just joined. So anyway, we are now in the 6th chapter of book 3. Oh, Jocelyn, hi. So good to see you. And Rosaline. Oh, nice. Thank you. And Peggy. Okay, so we are in the 6th chapter of book 3, which is Meg. Where we left her was she was finishing unpacking the boxes in her house and got it all done, which really didn't mean a lot because she doesn't have much. She's got some clothes and some picture frames, but she does have a piece of furniture that belonged to her grandmother. Hi, Jocelyn. It was her grandmother's bookcase, and it is leaded glass and shelving. So Meg unpacks and Goldie helps her, and they're so excited that they're unpacked, and they're having a great time and running around the upstairs and playing games with each other. And all of a sudden they hear a large crash downstairs. They go downstairs and there is a mess in the bookcase. It appears as if a shelf has given way. Books are misplaced, heavy books. But when Meg inspects it more carefully, it's clear that the glass has been broken from the inside out, which is unsettling, right? How does that begin to happen? And then as Meg cleans it up, cleans up the glass and tries to put the bookcase back together, once again, for the third time in a day, the scent of sweet roses fills the air around her. So all that is unsettling, and she doesn't know what to do with that. At the same time, she got a call earlier in the day from a man named Jake Kelly. Jake owns Kelly and Sons Construction Company. It was a company started by his father. He and his brother were working in it with his father. His father has since passed, and his brother doesn't want to do it anymore. So Jake is left on his own. And while Jake is good at construction, he is terrible at office work. He can't keep anything organized. So his office is a mess. And he has called, he was told by his friend, Jethro J.T. Tull, who is the town attorney, and was Meg's attorney for her divorce and for purchasing Crown Hill. Jethro, J.T. Tull and Jake Kelly are friends, and J.T. has told Jake Kelly that Meg needs work. So Jake Kelly has called Meg and basically forced her, against her better judgment, to accept the job as his office person. So that's where we're going to begin. Oh, and the other thing that happened was when we get to the end of the... My son is harassing me. Okay, so when we get to the end of chapter 5, we find that Crown Hill and Mary are disagreeing. Mary believes that Meg can help her pass, and she is determined to reach out to her. And that's what happened with the books. It was all Mary that made the books fall and crash and all that. And the house does not believe that should happen. The house believes that Mary should leave Meg alone. So they have disagreed, and they have gone to their separate corners of the house, so to speak. Okay, James, so that's it. That's all the background. Glass is on. Sip of wine. Crown Hill, a novel of love, life, and the afterlife. Book 3, Meg, Chapter 6. Meg tugged on the rusted door handle. The early morning chill embedded in the corroded metal transmitted through her fingers and into her body. Once, twice, even with a third pull, Meg's chilled hands could not get the door to budge. Shivering at the edge of dawn outside Kelly and Sons' bright green building, Meg was unsure what to do. Jake Kelly had clearly stated that she needed to be at his office at 7 a.m. sharp. Although she was 10 minutes early, based on the truck in the nearby parking lot and the lights on throughout the buildings, Meg was sure her new boss was inside, impatiently awaiting her arrival. She was also pretty sure that he had not locked the door behind him. So what was the trick of entry, she wondered. Getting ready to yank on the door again, Meg heard a sound that was about to become part of her morning routine. It was the melodic tones of a man singing terribly off-key, but nonetheless singing. What was the song, though? Meg wondered as she listened through the closed door. Good morning to you, morning glory. kissed and caressed by the dew. Beautiful morning glory, good morning glory to you. As the soulful refrain continued, the soloist was joined by a voice that Meg quickly defined as a dog howling in pained response to the distorted performance. Well, at least I know there's someone in there, Meg thought. Rather than continuing to grapple with the seized handle, Meg pounded forcefully on the door, calling out as she did, Jake Kelly, it's Margaret Flynn. I'm here to start work and I can't open the door. Hearing rumblings within, Meg stepped back and in seconds got her response. The heavy metal door burst open and revealed what Meg could only classify as a rugged mountain man. Tall, stocky but solid, sporting a flaming red beard that flowed out and over his suspendered coveralls. Well, what are you doing standing out there in the cold? Time's money, you know. With that hospitable welcome, Jake Kelly turned and made his way back into the building, leaving Meg to follow. And don't forget to shut the damn door. It all happened so fast that Meg had no time to think. She quickly grabbed the door, slammed it closed, and followed Jake down the hallway and into a large open space. In the overhead glare of buzzing fluorescent lights, Meg identified 3 office desks with chairs and a long, narrow table, much like those she recalled from school cafeterias. At least that's what she thought was in place among the chaotic disaster looming before her. Kelly & Sons was exactly as Jake had described. From desk to desk and across the long tabletop, papers, notebooks, and catalogs were strewn everywhere. Telephone and electric cords looped from wall outlets to desks, suggesting locations of phones and faxes, completely buried underneath unfiled piles of invoices and bills. Computer screens were barely visible behind misshapen stacks of file folders, braced by keyboards shoved up against them. Banks of cabinets lined the outer office walls, many with open drawers supporting mounds of precariously balanced folders. In the center of the room sat the larger-than-life Jake Kelly himself. Positioned in the midst of an overloaded oak desk, the business owner appeared much like a Nordic warrior battling against an unrelenting army of paperwork. Within the small workspace to which he laid claim, Jake had arranged a hoard of yellow pads and a ceramic cup filled with pencils. Meg thought that she could also make out a calculator hid beneath some crumpled fast food wrappers and an elegant brass and onyx clock, partially concealed by a box of cheesy snack crackers. On the floor beside her new boss's desk, there sat a large oval wicker basket filled with an oversized denim pillow. Atop the pillow sat a droopy-eyed basset hound, thumping his tail in rhythmic welcome. Meg felt the room whirring around her as she attempted to assess the fiasco. The office was undoubtedly a nightmare, and by staying, she would become a main character in the horrific dream. Meg's instinct was to turn and bolt, go as far away from Jake Kelly as possible. It was a fight-or-flight response she had cultivated during her life with Cal. In the early years, Meg railed against what she believed to be unacceptable behavior from her husband. Sadly, the life lesson she learned was that the more she spoke, the more Cal would abuse her. Mentally and physically. And so flight became her life-preserving option of choice. You can't hide anymore. It's time to speak without fear. Once again, become your own person. Meg knew the voice was right. What good did it do to make all the changes of the last year, only to live in the same life of fear? She knew exactly what needed to be said. The question was, could she find the courage? As it turned out, Jake Kelly provided Meg with all the bravado she needed. So what are you standing there gawking for? Can't you see there's work to be done? I'm not paying you for my health, you know. It was the perfect prod to ignite the gentle Irishwoman's fuse. Work to be done? Are you kidding me? This isn't a workplace. It's a disaster zone waiting for a dumpster. Meg's comment flew from her mouth without restraint. She was shocked to shaking at the bluntness of her words, but truthfully at that point, she didn't really care. She was quite sure that going home and starting a new job search would be better than working at Kelly & Sons. Jake's face turned red in a tone to match his beard, an outward sign that Meg assessed as an explosion ready to happen. Instead, the big man erupted in gales of laughter that shook his entire body. Yeah, JT says you were a quiet one, but you're a little spitfire, ain't you there, missy? Kelly raised his ample body out of the chair and came around the desk to where Meg was standing. Extending his bare paw of a hand, the massive man radiated a natural charm. Welcome to Kelly & Sons, little lady. Sorry about my kind of gruff beginning. Been a while since I've had somebody working in this office with me. Guess I kind of forgot what it's like. As Meg interlaced her hand with Jake's, a soft yellow glow outlined the sturdy man. Perfect, she thought to herself. This guy is filled with joy. Meg inhaled a deep, relaxing breath and took another shot at speaking honestly. I appreciate your apology, Jake, and I can understand how being alone can change a person. So, let's start over. My name is Meg, not Margaret, and this office is a disaster zone. What has been going on around here? Or should I ask, what hasn't been going on? The two spent the next hour in coffee and conversation as Jake explained the past years of his life that included the death of his father, the irreparable fallout with his brother, the string of office workers who came but never stayed, and finally, Jake's surprisingly open-hearted and emotional plea for Meg's help. I know this place is out of control. Most days it's pretty tough for me to even make sense of what's going on around here. But all I need is someone to make some order. I got jobs to do, work and money coming in. And to be honest with you, Maggie girl, I just can't give it up. I can't let this place go. Somehow I got to keep it going. This business is everything my old man worked for and dreamed about all his life. The break in the strong man's voice and the singular tear spilling into his bushy beard was all Meg needed. There was no way that she could walk out of that office and leave the lovable grump to fail. She also knew she had to stay strong in her resolve and set clear terms and boundaries, or Jake Kelly's dysfunctional world would easily overwhelm her as well. Okay, Jake Kelly, here's the deal. I'll stay for 1 month, but you're going to pay me $10 an hour plus mileage, working Monday through Thursdays, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. On top of that, I want an hour lunch break every day where I can be gone from the office. In that month, I guarantee you that I will get this place in order. Then I'll let you know if I'm willing to stay longer or not. And if at any time in those 30 days you're rude or nasty or inappropriate to me in any way, I'm out of here. No ifs, ands, or buts. Take it or leave it. Meg was proud of herself. It took all of her courage to set such terms, and yet she didn't let her fear show. At the same time, the thing about Jake Kelly was that even as she spoke openly and directly, the soft yellow glow around him continued. Meg trusted that glow and felt as if her strong words would not cause problems. Although she was keeping an eye on the proximity to the door just in case she needed to make a quick exit. In the end, Meg was never sure if it was talk about his father or the overwhelming condition of his office, but Jake Kelly's response to her terms was immediate. Okay, Meg Flynn, I'll give you all you ask for, but at the end of the month, this office better be tip-top. Oh, and one more thing. Making coffee in the morning is part of your job. As you can taste from this stuff we're drinking, I stink at it. End up brewing something more like sludge. Again, with a touch of tenderness in his voice, the straightforward businessman added, and I won't budge on that one. A man's got to have some pride, you know. Meg couldn't help but smile, seeing Jake accept terms of someone else's making. It was hard on him, but he was in a tough spot and realized that Meg might be his best and last chance for survival. It was his half-hearted demand for morning coffee, however, that allowed Meg a glimpse past his gruff exterior and into his heart. She was hooked. No doubt Jake Kelly and his construction business were about to become a significant part of her life. But she wasn't ready to let him know that. Me? Make morning coffee? Really? That kind of thing disappeared from office rules about 20 years ago, Jake. Taking great delight in the pained expression on her new boss's face, Meg made her way over to the stained metal pot and rusted warming tray that defined the office coffee station. And speaking of 20 years ago, I'm guessing it's about when you bought this old thing. Turning back to the tortured man, Meg forced herself not to giggle as she delivered her final salvo. Tell you what, Jake, I'm going to get started cleaning up the office. I'm going to go into town, and then I'm going to leave an hour early. In that hour, I'm going to go into town and buy a new coffee brewer and some china mugs. And you're going to pay for all of it. Then I'm going to set it up tomorrow nice and neat and teach you how to use the brewer. That way we can both make coffee whenever we want it. Meg enjoyed each delicious second of Jake's reaction to her coffee speech. This was a man who would never succeed at playing cards, as his every emotion showed in his expressive face. Meg could tell that Jake absolutely hated the thought of buying anything new and fussy, but he knew he was past the point of protest. I'll tell you what, Meg, you may think you're pretty damn smart sashaying in here and making lots of big talk about cleaning up this office. Well, you just better be good to your word, because in 30 days, if this office ain't in order, you'll be paying me every penny that you're going to waste buying that fancy schmancy coffee maker and them damn china mugs. Taking pity on the little boy in a man's body before her, Meg softened her approach and offered her hand in good faith. Deal, Jake Kelly. Reaching out, Jake's hand engulfed Meg's as he gave it a sound shake. A deal it is, Meggie girl. And now, if I was you, I'd be getting to work. You only got 29.5 days left. To which Meg turned on her heels and headed to the nearest bank of disheveled filing cabinets. Meggie girl, indeed, she muttered as she began the task. With Meg off to work, and my rooms empty of all but Goldie, the time was at hand to push aside the sharp words and hurt feelings that had passed between Mary and I. We needed to share our thoughts, hear our fears, and again become of one purpose. Sweet Mary, I know that you are lingering, waiting for better feelings between us. And I too want the same. Please accept these words of apology for my hasty reactions yesterday. Please return and allow us to fashion goodwill between us. Silence. It was Mary's way that I had come to understand. She needed space to come forward, not to be forced by someone demanding of her. So I waited, comforted by the strength of our love. In time, she responded. Crown Hill, I hear your words and know them to be true, yet I cannot in good faith begin unless I know our intent is shared. I am going to reach out to Meg and call upon her righteousness and inner strength. No matter yours or Owen's or any other power within my world, I will use Meg to find a way to pass. I am determined to find a way to pass. So many thoughts filtered through me. The years Mary spent as my keeper, her agonizing death, the struggles her spirit had endured within me. Among all those thoughts, wove threads of fear over the consequences of Mary's decision to reach out to Meg. There was also a great sadness in realizing that by reaching out, Mary could forever leave me. Dear Mary, for so long you have dreamed of release from this world, and few times has that dream ever seemed possible. I understand, more feel your pain in being trapped in a time and space so tortuous. That said, I would be less than honest if I did not admit that a part of my hesitation in joining with you is my own selfish desire for you to remain here with me. While I love you deeply enough to want the best for your spirit, I love you selfishly as well, wishing for us to be together always. The intensity of my selfish desire is something I have only just realized, and it is both surprising and concerning to me. From the depths of my being, I felt joy rising, followed by echoes of laughter resonating through me. There was no doubt it was Mary's delight that I was experiencing. Yet happiness was not the reaction I had anticipated. Oh, my Crown Hill, you are the most loving reward in all of my troubled existence. Every moment we have shared has softened the cruelties and absorbed the sorrows that I have endured. Yet what delights me at this moment is your admission of selfish intent. Did you really think that I was not already aware of your feelings? Even more amusing, did it not occur to you that I would feel the same? With another lilt of laughter, Mary exclaimed, "Oh, dearest, we are surely of one heart." Mary's joy was infectious. I could feel her delight envelop my being from rooftop to rafters. It was a wondrous moment, and very much like those we had shared when Mary was alive. So it was that the memory of such treasured moments rekindled within me a deep desire to help Mary's spirit in whatever way she desired. My feelings of dread and sadness over her passing lingered no longer. Sweet Mary, as you well know me, you can be assured I will help you with whatever is needed to reach out to Meg, regardless of any evil consequences or the great sadness that will follow in your absence. I am renewed in my dedication to your will. From the depths of my being, I felt Mary's joy again rising, and I fully understood that my words had been heard. I don't, it's hard to explain a little bit for people who don't know the backdrop to this story and who've joined tonight. And thank you, everybody who's joined. I lived in this house for 20 years, and this house was a real being to me. And it was that kind of a place. And it wasn't just for me that way, in case you think I'm a total nutcase, which never mind if my son's still on here, no comments allowed. But this house was so special. It didn't matter who came through the doorway. They invariably asked to please be able to come back again because it had such a special feel. It was such a spiritual place. Artists would come. I didn't know who they were, but they would come and knock on the door and ask if they could please just sit in the driveway and sketch and paint. People would come back and ask if they could come even when I wasn't there, just to be able to be in the presence of this house and this property. It was a part of a commune for 17 years. As we read the other night, there was a family of 10 people, of 10 children, a family with 10 children who owned it in the 40s to 1979. And then from 79 to 95, it was owned by a commune. And I bought it then in 1995 from that commune. And I knew for the next number of years that anytime I was driving along the main highway, if I saw someone wearing a backpack and hiking along the side of the road, they would be at my door within the next hour looking for a place to stay, because that's what this house was to so many people. So while it tonight that conversation between Mary and Crown Hill was exactly how this house is and was and always will be. So thank you for coming tonight and sharing. Friday nights can be tough for me because it's leading into the weekend, but it's not a weekend anymore. So I'm grateful to share this time with you and have this community. And I hope that you'll join me tomorrow night for Chapter 7. We'll be here at 7:30 reading. And thank you. I hope you enjoyed this evening. Have a great Friday night. Take good care. I hope you sleep well and have a good Saturday. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow night at 7:30.